So, good evening, everyone, to the finale webinar of the Decentralization Week by Z.Talks. At Z.Talks, we bring academicians, entrepreneurs, technologists, influencers working in the emerging tech space to share their experiences and insights that they have gained in their career trajectories to help millennials and young professionals gauge and understand emerging technology from different standpoints. Hi, I am Nishant and I'm a co-founder and head of technology at Zubi. And this panel discussion is going to be on the topic building blockchain applications with ease. We would be broadly covering topics like how students and young professionals can transition into blockchain and decentralized application development, and strategies on how to make decentralized apps, or how we call it dApps, more easy to start with for the end user. So thank you for joining in, everyone. Today in our panel, we have two very amazing panelists with us who have been contributing their part in the decentralization revolution. So the first panelist that we have with us is Satyam Agrawal. He is a lead blockchain engineer at Polymath. And our second panelist for tonight is Saili Patil. She is a software development engineer at Matic Network. So welcome Satyam and Saili, and thank you both of you for taking out your times for enlightening young minds today in our session, that too on a Sunday. So before we start with today's panel, let's just have a quick introduction about you guys and your roles at your respective organizations, and how exactly did you guys come across blockchain in your own career trajectories for our viewers. So we'll start with Satyam. So Satyam, please go ahead with your introduction.
Yeah, thanks Nishant for a very good introduction. So I am Satyam, as Nishant told. So I've been working in a space from last 3.5 years in the blockchain. And currently I'm working with the Polymath Network. About the Polymath Network, a very brief introduction is about that we are the security token platform. It's all about providing a technology to the market for building the securities over the blockchain. So for my career start is about 3.5 years back, and I get to know about the Ethereum, the smart contracts. And at the time, the smart contracts are very bare. So we don't even have the debuggers, a proper IDE for the development. Even the Truffle network, even the Truffle framework is under the development. So we don't know how to deploy the contracts over the network even. So that was a really challenging phase to understand the blockchain and testing out. So from learning by yourself, that's the only way at the time, and the community support by the Stack Exchange or the different forums like Discord and other ones that the Ethereum provides. So at the time I started learning it and regularly come in contact with the different contributors, like some of the contributors from the Ethereum Foundation itself. And then I being in touch with the Polymath. So I've been working with Polymath from last 2.5 years. And as per my role, I started with as a Solidity developer and start creating the core contracts for their protocol. So what the protocol is about on the Ethereum chain, that we create a set of a smart contracts and ecosystem that will allow anyone to create the securities and provide the facility like the compliance management, dividends, STOs. So I'm spreading out a lot of aliases. Maybe someone don't know about what the STO is. So STO is a security token offering. Compliance management. There's a difference between the security tokens and the utility tokens. You have to have some kind of a compliance behind the security tokens. So let's say if you are in India, there is a certain kind of a rules you have to follow for trade the security tokens that's being decided by the SEBI. If you are in America, maybe SEC will ensure what the rules behind. So these kind of a compliance management a security token have, and similar to the dividends. So if you are a dividend providing company, you will willing to share your profit with your shareholders. So these kind of a you can say functionality we provide using our token studio platform. But right now, what we are building right now is a purpose-built blockchain that's called Polymath. So that is specialized for the security token only. So we came up with a different lot of issues when we worked on Ethereum blockchain from last 2.5 years. So we have an issue related to identity, because in the security token world, everyone should know, not the everyone, at least the auditors and the issuer should know about the identity of their shareholders to restrict the AML and the private transaction. What the private transaction is about, they need to know about the participants, as well as the auditors know who are the participant and what the amount of the security tokens transacts between them, and the compliance management as well. So these kind of were different problems we came up through, and we decided to build up Polymath blockchain. So that's very brief about me and my company and what I'm doing, how I came across the different blockchains.
All right. Thank you, Satyam, for such a descriptive introduction about the Polymath network. It was really interesting knowing about so many things. A bit for our viewers. A lot of our viewers are actually millennials and students who are trying to migrate and transition into blockchain career opportunities. So we will be dissecting aspects of what you have just discussed in the last 5 minutes. We'll have to dissect each and every part that you have discussed, because there were a lot of technical terms that you have used, so a lot of users may not have been able to like gauge all of them all at once, and so we'll be dissecting that as well in our panel in the future. But before that, let's move on to Saili. So Saili, could you give your introduction?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me here. First
Yeah.
of all, hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Sally. I'm from Mumbai, currently staying in Bangalore, and I work as a software developer at Matic Network. So, how do I start my journey in blockchain? Is like I have started my career in blockchain itself. So, the story is quite interesting. I was doing internship with Anurag, the CPO of Matic Network. In his previous startup, and we met the JD CEO of Matic, and that's how that company get dissolved, and I got PPO in directly in this company. And at that time, that startup was completely different. That is a fintech product. So then I joined this company, and I have started learning the blockchain, understand the blockchain, and obviously like very new in all this technology thing. Just post graduated. I have just completed my masters. So initially, I used to work on the wallet, Matic wallet thing, which is basically a any other cryptocurrency wallet, like transfer the fund from one to other with the wallet connect protocol, which will like for the user experience thing. And then we have developed the entire wallet, and then because of some reasons we have that at that time we were developing in a React Native, so like hybrid development, and then we have moved to the native one, that is Android iOS specific wallet. But I don't have that much expertise in Android and iOS specific things, but still Android is like I was pretty much comfortable with Android, so developed the Android wallet again. And after that, I used to get bored in that thing because I have like done the repetitive work. So now currently, since 3-4 months, I have shifted to the more of blockchain network side. So building the whole network, Matic network parts. Yeah, so that's it from my side. So
All
if
right.
yeah, yeah,
That's also a very insightful description of how you actually came across blockchain. So I believe blockchain came to you by accident, and
it,
looks like you're enjoying the journey.
yeah.
So
Was
yeah, so
in software, like entire software field, and this is something new and a very challenging thing. So, and
yes,
whatever I'm doing till now is like entirely self-learning, like Satyam said, learn and
yes.
do, implement. Yeah, that is
Yes,
the
so yeah, so that's what is very important when it comes to actually learning any of the nascent technologies, because there's no descriptive documentation, there's not proper documentation, there's not a lot of resources available on the internet. If you find resources, then also you don't know whether that resource is actually sourceful or not. So there's a lot of bottlenecks that any developer who is trying to move into any of the nascent technologies would have to face. So coming to the first question, you have discussed a lot of tech stacks. All right. So the topic for our webinar today, like I've already mentioned, is building blockchain applications with ease. So if we talk about any emerging technology in general, be it machine learning or AI or blockchain, young learners and sometimes even experienced ones always face difficulty, or rather they are overwhelmed with the number of moving parts that are present in any well orchestrated system. In these nascent technologies, basically, so learning about so many libraries, toolkits, coding standards, and to top it off with so many DevOps systems, just to get your system live on an actual platform. In fact, even if we have so many networks with their own requirements, and then there is obviously a lot of coding also involved. So my question to you guys is, what do you guys feel that the students should be doing, as in what should they prioritize more on, learning fundamentals of software development, or directly delve into making their first smart contract on any network, any public network? So I'll start with Satyam.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking, what I did is actually starting developing smart contract directly, because I don't know what I need to do. Because my manager said to me on the very first day that you have to work on the blockchain and you have to develop the smart contracts at the very nascent time. So I just go over to the Solidity, read the docs. I just go through the documentation twice and thrice to understand how everything is working. And after that, I read the fundamentals of the blockchain. So it's a very kind of different way. It's kind of an opposite way, where you should have to start from the fundamentals, then you have to go for the some specific blockchain and understand the core basis of that blockchain. But I just take a reverse step because I don't know what to do at the time. So from my understanding of that whole my you can say experience is about any developer or the student should have to go in any direction within the blockchain. They should learn what in front of them. So even if they are come up with a Tezos, even if they come up with a Cosmos, even if they come up with any of the technology, they should understand what it is doing. I'm not going into the technical. They should understand what it is at least doing, and then they have to decide what is the difference between all those technologies available. That not on the I'm not saying on the core side, only on the functionality basis side. Yes. Then they have to decide what they need to do with this different functionality. If let's say if I learn you can say InstaDev, a very a common example for all the Indian techies, InstaDev. So I came across InstaDev and I learn about MCD. I learn about DeFi. So how can I use a DeFi system, or how can I create something similar? If I want to, then I go into that direction and understand the core technologies maker, how the maker is doing. So in that way, they should have to start creating understanding about the system. Once they understand the system, then they have to go to the core basic, so they can connect the dots between them. So it's kind of a reverse way, because a lot of techies think about first need to understand the core basics, how the peer-to-peer network works, how the memory management works, how each and everything works. But it is very hard to for all those rookies or the students, because they want to do experiments. And if they came across a very giant diagram or anything that make them scared about, it's a very difficult technology, I'm not able to learn. So the reverse way is the best way. First, understand the functionality. Let them do some experiment over it, whether it's a very basic experiment. Even like right now, the first of the basic experiment in the Ethereum network is to create a token, a utility token. Everybody can do it. So that's a very simple thing they can start with. Then they layer by layer understand the technology, what it is about. So that's my point of view about learning the technology, whether it is a blockchain, machine learning, AI, anything.
Yeah. So what I understand from what you said, Satyam, is going the engineer's way, learning while doing. You just delve into something and then try to reverse engineer the concepts. And
Yeah,
if you are facing any hiccups anywhere, then you just start learning the fundamentals of that. But
yeah,
what is more important is just to take a leap of faith and just jump into that technology, and then try to cover up the fundamentals.
yeah.
That's
That's the
Yes,
only way you can, because you don't have like a practitioner or the experienced guy within the market who can tell us what is good or what is not, because you don't
yes,
know what is good, what is not, because you
exactly.
can't believe anyone in a direct manner. So you have to go in your own way, find out these real challenges, because that's the only key of learning. Because if you are not come up with any of the challenges, I say you didn't learn anything. So that's my fundamental for the
So yeah, so
learning.
basically, what you are suggesting is that even if someone creates a curriculum, it should mostly, even colleges or boot camps or whatnot, if they are creating curriculums related to any of the nascent technologies, let's say security token offerings, so there should be more focus on building actual applications than on covering the fundamentals. There should be
Yes,
more time that should be allotted to working on real life projects, or maybe something on a testnet or something like that, instead of taking a lot of time to explain data structures and algorithms or something like that, which is not really important when it comes to building systems in blockchain at the very start. Like if you're building a system, if you're learning building a system, you don't need to go right away in the orchestrated system. But yeah, you should learn by building your own first hello world project, maybe in Solidity, and then you move on to building your own. Maybe I build a Nishant token, or you build a Satyam token, Siley builds a Siley token, something like that.
yes,
So yeah,
exactly.
I understand that approach. Even when I delved into blockchain, even I did the same thing, because when I started back in 2017, I also started on blockchain, and there were not enough resources available. And my way of learning was also first try to do a hidden trial with everything, try to understand how Get console works and things like that, and then just figure things out. If you're facing any problems, then obviously Stack Exchange and the forums and communities that support any nascent technologies are always there to help you guys. There's always a handhold from those guys.
Yes,
So
exactly.
Saili, would you like to add to Satyam's point?
I'm completely agreeing with whatever Satyam and you are saying. Maybe that is the engineering thing they do. But here I would say to learn any technology, you have to like the have hand thorough with the core computer science concept. So if you are aware or you are like comfortable with core computer science concept, then learning any technology, either it can be blockchain or MI, ML, AI, anything. It just need to you have to go through the document and explore things. You just have to explore them. The concept is already clear to you. So
Yes.
yeah, so that is also very helpful. Then you most of the time then you don't spend time in struggling in understanding the core concept. You just have to go for the particular thing that you need to. If you are learning the blockchain, then you need to only focus on a blockchain, not the entire thing or how everything works. Because if you go into the look back into the data structure thing, like stacks, memory management concept, so that is also play the important role. So like you said, our most of the audience is from the college, so they have time that attend lectures, or if you are not attending lecture, at least do your own study. Because yeah, of course everyone agrees that कि कॉलेज जाने से कुछ भला नहीं होता है, but still study of your own and like get thorough with your that concept, so it will be really helpful in. Then you can learn, then learning any technology will be very easier for you. Yeah, that's
Yes, yes, indeed. So, college students, all our viewers, please take a note. Lectures पे थोड़ा ध्यान दिया करो, because the fundamentals which you learn in your college, they are also important. Obviously, when it comes to learning nascent technologies, you will learn something which you have never learned in your college. There will be a lot of new things that you will be learning, but yes, your fundamentals that you learn in your college should also be clear, because that improves your own problem solving abilities, and that helps you actually tackle the problems that you will be facing when learning any new technology. So there's this one very popular question that a lot of students ask. Okay, so for example, like right now I'm talking to you guys. One of you is working in Polymath, which is coming up with its own network, and Matic started as a network. So one very big question that people ask is that there are so many networks out there. There's Bitcoin, there's Ethereum, there's Ripple, there's Matic, Polymath, Tezos, so many n number of networks. All right, and there may be chances that every network has its own learning curve. So students are in fact scared that, okay, let's say I delve into this particular network, will it be really worth it? Will this network not become obsolete in the future if I like put a lot of efforts in this, and then in the future that network becomes obsolete? So uh, if you guys could explain, how do students really choose network, and should they choose networks first, that okay, I'll deal with deciding what network I want to code in, understanding the differences between all these networks, understanding what is it that one network offers that the other doesn't, and then delving into learning development in that particular network? Or should they learn development for all the networks? Or is there a middle ground that yes, there are some common technologies that you understand, and then maybe you just have to do very minimal learnings for transitioning from one network to another? So Satyam, if you could
Yeah.
add something.
So,
Yeah.
so it's a really good question, and a lot of newcomers struggle with it because there is a misconception in somewhere between the students and between the some of the business persons as well, that Bitcoin is all about blockchain. So blockchain is all about Bitcoin, or blockchain is all about Ethereum, not anything else. So
Yes.
to break it down, it depends on the interest. So let's say if uh, I am as a newcomer interest in the cryptography in initial phase, in an initial time, then I should choose Monero or Zcash to learn the blockchain and understand how the Monero and the Zcash works, because that's my forte, because I understand the crypto, because I love the mathematics to go with it. So some people decide accordingly how they love the the fundamentals, because some of the students are very good in the initial phase, some are not. So whom are are the newcomers or the rookie ones who doesn't know in what path they're going to choose? The the first very basic step is to learn how Ethereum or the Bitcoin works, because these are the common networks from which all the other networks uh, you can say emerge uh, uh, for the, at least you can say, understand it for the different functionality. So Bitcoin is the first one. It came up in 2008. Ethereum is the second one. The second largest network came up in 2013-14. So these are the networks who want very much understanding, or you can say very much functionality within them. So if a new rookie came up, they need to understand how Bitcoin works, then the Ethereum works, then they go with the how the blockchain actually works. It not depend whether you are using a Bitcoin or your Ethereum blockchain. They can understand how the peer-to-peer network works, how the different modules of a blockchain can work to communicate, how the cryptography works. So in a basic manner, I'm not saying what kind of a hashes or what kind of things can work like in a complex manner, but understand the basics. Then it's all about the interest. So let's say if someone came up and they say by the market research that the utility tokens are not the next big thing, security token are the next big thing. So I'm going to understand how the Polymesh works, because this is my the career opportunity related to the finance market or the stock market. So I want to understand Polymesh and going to develop in it. Or if someone came up by understanding all those fundamentals of Ethereum, Bitcoin, or the blockchain basic, they come up with, I want to understand the interoperability of the networks. So I may go with the Polkadot or Cosmos Hub to understand how actually things work, so I can participate, even participate in creating the new blockchains and making a frictionless or a seamless way of transaction flow within the different blockchain networks. So it's so in a crux, you can say first they need to understand the basic about the blockchains. They can start with the Ethereum and the Bitcoin. Then they can learn about the how the blockchain works. After these two or three things, they can go with the functionality phase, or you can say the interest phase, where they can do some of the market research. I'm not saying they go blindly with the Tezos or the Cosmos or the Polymath, whatever the network. Uh, First, they have to understand how the blockchain works, and the different two networks would like a parent for all the others, for all different networks. So first understand them and then go with the interest by doing some market research, because it's always about the career. So if you want to make a career good in security token market, you can go with the Polymesh. If you want to do something good with, let's say, payment channels, then I think Matic network is the one. So different kind of things you can understand with by reading the market, because you know the basics by reading the Bitcoin and the Ethereum and the very basic about the blockchain.
Yeah. Okay. I got a gist. So to just sum it up, what you mean to say is, for anyone who wants to maybe work at Polymath or Matic network, or any of the popular networks that we just named or something like that, the first step should not be learning the Matic network or the Polymath network per se. It should actually be learning about Bitcoin. Bitcoin teaches us the history of blockchain, as to how did we come across with a technology which helps us create so many solutions. And then we learn what Ethereum has to offer, because most of the blockchain networks that we know about are one or the other way compliant to the Ethereum standards. So if you are learning Ethereum is so modular in its approach, and Ethereum is so more or less self-sufficient, so that you can create multiple networks using the Ethereum protocol, that if you are able to understand and grasp the basics of Ethereum, you are able to cover a lot of networks. And then once you have grasped the basics of how the various architectural points in any of the blockchain network works, then it comes to your own choice, that okay, you have to do your own market research, that okay, let's say I want to work personally in Polymath, so I'll look as to what is it that the Polymath network has that other networks don't offer, and what is it that I have to learn other than what I have already learned. Or same applies for the Matic network as well. So so Saili, my question to you is, like I just said, that most of the networks, the Polymath network or the Matic network, are compliant with the Ethereum standards. So what is it that the Matic network offers that maybe Ethereum doesn't? So if you would like to answer that question.
Yeah, so blockchain, cryptocurrency, all these things on fire. But if you see, what is missing is still adoption. That is, we cannot see the use of cryptocurrency or blockchain technologies or blockchain applications in our day-to-day life. The obvious reason is the user experience, lack of user experience. That's why we cannot use these technologies in our day-to-day life. If we specifically talk about Ethereum, we have issues like we have to wait for a 15 seconds to confirm one transaction. So if we are paying at a coffee shop, we cannot wait for a 15 seconds to get transaction and make the payment. So we at Matic Network, we are trying to solve the, like we are focusing on improving the user experience in whole blockchain ecosystem. So if we talk specifically about Matic Network, it is sidechain based on the Ethereum chain, built on top of Ethereum chain. So whatever works on Ethereum chain, it is going to work on a Matic chain as it is. The students or whoever wants to build anything on a Matic chain, they don't need any extra thing to learn other than the core blockchain concept and yeah, how Ethereum works, how EVM works. Actually, they even don't need to know how EVM work, as only they are developing the dApps. So yeah, that's it. If they are like pretty much comfortable with how what are the smart contracts, how to build with how to develop the smart contract, they are basically comfortable with the core blockchain concept, then yeah, then it's depend on, if we talk about how to choose the network, then it's completely depend on their use case, what they want to build.
All right.
So yeah, so whatever the Polymath, as say Matic network is a scaling solution. So if their use case is faster transaction, then obviously they can go with the Matic. Same goes for, it's basically depends on the
So what is the average block time on the Matic network, if I may ask?
yeah. So currently 1 block per second is a block time on the Matic
All
network.
right. All right. Is that a benchmark speed or is that like a running speed, like the production level speed?
It's a running speed, and if we talk about transaction, theoretically 65,000 or approximately 65,000 transaction per second
All right.
is a okay.
All right. So
So
so what I understand from what you say is, so in order to be a decentralized application developer in the Matic network or in the Ethereum network, is there anything else that I need to learn other than smart contracts? Like the first step of being a blockchain developer is being a smart contract developer. That's like an entry level thing. All right. So let's say I learned Solidity, the basics of Solidity, and I did that on Ethereum. Is it very easy for me to do the same on Matic network as well?
yeah, like let me go much deeper, like bit deeper into the Matic. So what is Matic? Matic is a, as I said, side chain built on top of the Ethereum chain.
All right.
So what is Matic do? It's it basically faster transaction with less gas fees. So what is the process? You have your funds or assets in a on a Ethereum chain. Then you have to deposit that funds on the Matic chain. Then you perform transactions here on a Matic chain. And whenever eventually you want to withdraw back to the Ethereum chain, you have to exit from the Matic chain. You can withdraw all your funds to the Ethereum. So
All
that
right.
is the whole concept of Matic.
So
So
what I understand from this is that Ethereum is like a mothership for the Matic chain.
yeah,
Similarly, there can be n different networks, and they are indirectly connected to the Ethereum network, but they don't affect the transactions on the Ethereum network unless you exit from that
yeah,
particular network. Is that
yes.
what it is? All right. Yeah.
It
So
does,
that is,
yeah.
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 Please
So
go ahead.
yeah, like we have our bank account. I'm not talking about UPI thing, Paytm, like pure Paytm thing. We have Paytm wallet. We deposit our funds from bank account to Paytm. We do
Yes.
the transfer. We pay at our like multiple shops, and then we can eventually withdraw from the Paytm. So here on a Paytm, we have better user experience, and we don't have to like obviously we know the problems with the bank, so we can rely more on the Paytm. We can try do the quicker transactions on a Paytm, and then eventually we can withdraw. Same concept goes with the Matic. It's same, like we deposit our fund from bank to Paytm, we deposit funds from Ethereum to Matic chain and do the transaction, and eventually yeah,
All right.
like that.
So Satyam, is the same applicable for the Polymath network as well? Is it also like a side chain to the Ethereum network, or is it a different network altogether, built from
So
scratch?
yeah, it's a different network altogether. We build it on the basis of Substrate framework. So we are using a Substrate framework to build Polymesh blockchain. So it's kind of a you can say a build from a scratch on the basis of the runtime. But
All right.
the core concept like peer-to-peer networking and the different communication levels are being taken from the Substrate framework. So let me tell all the audience what the Substrate framework is. So Substrate framework is uh, is a framework to create blockchain which will give you inbuilt blockchain functionalities within it. So you do not need to worry about the core concepts of the blockchain. What you need to worry about, like the runtime, what the blockchain your blockchain will do. So like if you go to the Get is a client for Ethereum. So Get, what it does, it have a different consensus mechanism like a POW. What it does, it take a transaction and prove it whether it is valid or not, and transfer the Ethereum from one account to another. So these kind of a logic are in place in the Get client itself. So we are creating the same different concept, not the same exactly as Ethereum has, but the different concept related to security tokens, and we are calling as a runtime and placing in within our blockchain or called Polymash. but the basic functionalities of the blockchain are come up from the substrate framework. So Polkadot is also based on the substrate framework. Different blockchains are coming up in the market are based on the substrate framework. This is like a cosmos. So if you go to a Tendermint, Tendermint is also a platform which allow you to create a different blockchain. So Cosmos Hub
Yes.
is based on that. So similarly on the Substrate side, Substrate allow you to create the different blockchains according to your functionality. As like someone only want to create an identity-based platform or identity-based blockchain, they can use the Substrate framework to build it. Someone wants like security tokens, we want security tokens, specialized blockchain. We are using Substrate framework for building it. If let's say someone wants a fashion based blockchain, means only the fashion based transaction can only be performed with a different set of rules that are in place within the runtime, they can use the Substrate framework. So Substrate framework is more of a generic way of creating the blockchain. So in a whole crux manner, we are building from the very scratch to understand our users or users demand, different exchanges demands, and try to aggregate all those demand and in place within our blockchain, so it can serve a, a one, you can say a one point to the security tokens or a one gateway for the security tokens. So anybody wants to launch a security tokens with the different functionality, as I already said, with the compliance management and dividends, STOs, all the different lot of restrictions, they can come up. They can do within the Polymesh as well, because Polymesh offering all this stuff within the runtime itself. We are also offering like some smart contract features, but these are not available because Polymesh is not yet launched. We are planning to launch the testnet version soon. But for the future version, we also allow to create the smart contract on the basis of EVOSM. So you do not need to worry. You do not need to learn Solidity specifically.
Yes.
You can use Rust, or you can use the different languages like C++ or anything that can be convertible into the EVOSM, that compile into the EVOSM and submit it onto the Polymesh blockchain. It will compile and run in a seamless manner. So it will create a whole new opportunity for all those developers who doesn't know about the Solidity and who doesn't want to understand Solidity. They know Java, they know C++, they know different system programming language, and they want to code in that. It's easy for them to develop.
Okay.
Even Ethereum is going to work with the EVOSM as well in the E2 phase.
Yes. Yes. So parity substrate is going to allow for EVOSM. So that you
Yes.
can create parity bridges, and the new system can have smart contracts in a language of your choice instead of learning Solidity or Viper for that matter. So, Saili, my question to you is the same concept. So how do you connect the Matic network to the Ethereum main network? Is there a protocol level thing that is happening, or is it like a bridge that you are creating through applications? So how are you going about with it?
So, if going into technicalities, so we Matic network, like we have our own nodes, like we have our we are developing our own node, like entire blockchain system, and which will run along with the Ethereum, side by side the Ethereum chain. So, like Satyam said, we have some extended version of Geth. We called it as a Bohr system. So that is our block producer layer. Then we have the Heimdall, which is our consensus validator layer, and we have the bridge, which will be listening to the smart contracts deployed on the Ethereum chain. So that is there. So
All right.
the answer to your question, yes, we have the kind of decentralized bridge which will continue, which will like hold the state of the Ethereum chain.
All right.
Obviously, for the specific smart contracts,
All
yeah,
right.
it is continuously syncing the Ethereum chain state to the Matic. Yeah.
All right. So that was, I believe, that went too technical. So coming back to putting it down a notch. So like for our students, for our viewers, so most of them, some would be learning C, C++, Java, something like that, or Python maybe. So what is it that you guys were doing before you guys started blockchain, and how easy was it for you guys to transition into developing blockchain applications because you were working in a particular tech? For example, let's say I am a JavaScript developer, so it would be maybe easy for me to start developing decentralized applications right away because there's a lot of support in the community. Or if I'm a Python developer, there's a lot of support in the community. So what is the tech stack that you guys were working in before and right after becoming a blockchain developer? So with Satyam, I would start.
So my career started with the blockchain itself, as
Okay.
Siley does. So I started with the Node.js by creating some of the applications over the smart contracts. I didn't start directly with the smart contracts. I worked with the JavaScript, Node.js. Then I worked on the smart contracts, learned the Solidity. So I moved from the Node.js developer to the Solidity developer. And once I've been, you can say, a good understanding in a Solidity or the EVM. Now, the next demand came into the market is about creating the blockchain. For in my sense, is specialized for the security token or maybe anything. So now I've been working in the Rust to creating a blockchain Rust system programming language. So my transition is like learning from Node.js to Solidity, now Solidity to Rust, to create a whole new blockchain for the end users. So that's how I transit with the three different languages. If you talk about the college, I learned Java. So there's a whole different tech stack ongoing. So so it's all about the demand, and it's all about the requirement came up from the market. So initially,
All right.
Ethereum is only the chain which provides a different functionality, and everyone is trying their product over the Ethereum because they
All
want to
right.
understand the market, how market reacts. So
All right.
everyone learns Solidity, we learn Solidity, and then once everyone create understanding what they need to do next, then they are moving from the different packet stack. So I moved to the Rust. So that's the
All
whole
right.
journey for me.
And what about you, Siley?
Yeah, completely agree with Satyam. Like, mostly if like people are thinking to come into the blockchain, maybe they can start with the Web3.js library, like how the even they don't have to go into the Solidity things, just like can pick up any smart contract, and how they can, like, first they can think of how to interact, how you are like how Web3 products can Web2 products can interact with the blockchain. Even don't they don't have to develop their own smart contract, just interaction with existing blockchain will
All
work,
right.
like in smart contract will work. So
So
maybe they,
basically, being able to create that interface using a JavaScript library called Web3.js. Yes. So first you learn interfacing with the server, and then you learn creating that server, something
that's how
like
I
that.
have done. Like first I
All
have
right.
on a wallet, so I was just like doing the interaction with the existing the smart contracts, then move to the building the smart contract, because the you know the how smart contract things are work, and mostly the debugging skill is in a smart contract, because that is the most difficult part. They don't have like we they don't have console statements, you cannot console things.
Yes. Yes. That's
So,
right.
yeah, so from the Web3, so here you get the idea how smart, like how difficult to debug the smart contract. So now if you are comfortable with interacting with it, then move to the next part. There, yeah, now I am like pretty much confident about developing my own smart contract. So that's how I also started. So build the smart contract, and then learning go and moving more towards the network part. So yeah, maybe like starts with, again, like I said in earlier, you know the basic concepts how things work, then just explore the whatever you need. Now you are like making an interface to interact with blockchain. You are good with, like you have understanding of how JavaScript, basic JavaScript works. You can
All
interact
right.
with the blockchain. Now you can move to the Solidity. Solidity is also a pretty like simple language, because you cannot do the lot of stuff in a Solidity. So
All right.
So yeah, you can develop code in Solidity is pretty simple. Debugging is difficult. So
All
yeah,
right.
you can write the smart contract and move to the higher level. So that approach should followed by everyone.
All right.
And obviously reading about various white papers and yeah, almost every day something is published on ether research. So keep track of that, so it will be helpful to understand what is currently status, because today I learned white paper the last year plasma was on a fire and now roll-ups are on fire. So yeah, that's how things are, like that frequently things are moving on. So
All
that's
right.
need. Yeah.
All right. So one of our viewers has actually asked a question in this direction only. Like you just said that last year something was on fire and now there's something else. So maybe with time the market changes, the market demand changes, and things like that. And obviously every startup, be it in the blockchain field or any nascent technology field, they'll also have to keep upgrading themselves because our schools and colleges are not. So at least the startups have to. One question that one of our viewers has asked, like Satyam was telling about doing a market research of what is it that is present in the industry. So after getting comfortable with developing the apps, where do you actually learn further about those new blockchain, up and coming blockchain networks, and do a further market research? Is there any particular website that you guys would like to like share about where you gain your information about the latest up and coming blockchain networks? So that our viewers could also follow those channels and those forums and everything. So Satyam.
Uh, yeah. So the basic way is to enlist with some of the forums, like if you subscribe with the Ethereum weekly channel, Ethereum weekly updates from the consensus, it will give you a lot of information related to the new products coming within the market in the Ethereum space. It will give you the latest tech, what's being building on the Ethereum. It will give you the next steps. It will give you uh, the what kind of a functionality or what kind of a business emerges within it. So it's a very good newsletter that is being you can say weekly published by the consensus. So you can go over it. The
All right.
another thing is the different news providers like the Block, Coindesk, or the other ones who are in the market about the blockchain space specifically. They know what's going on within the market and what's coming up next with the different fundraise with the different technologies. So
All
they
right.
will give you the
What coin providers, if you could name some?
sorry, which one? Coin providers?
uh, yes, you said that there are a lot of providers in the internet where you can find information, right?
So a lot
My
of
apologies. Yeah. Yes.
information providers like Coindesk,
Coindesk.
like the Block. So
All right.
different types of newsletter you can like each hub. So it's one of the
GitHub.
newsletter that is being governed from the some of the guy, I don't remember the name, is very popular. So
All right.
so these kind of an newsletter will help you what's going in the market, especially in the blockchain. And another thing is the finance world. So it blockchain is always disrupting the financial world because it's somewhere related to the economics. So if you because some way you will always attract or you can being you can say attracted by the financial but when you talk about the blockchain. So go with the some of the newsletter that go that's come up with the finance things. So if you so let's say if you go with the economics times, it will give you the information about the JP Morgan coin
All
that
right.
will encompasses 200 banks. So at the time you will understand that these companies are building something over the blockchain. It will give
All
you the
right.
knowledge about the Libra blockchain. So
All right.
Libra is one of the blockchain is being promoted by the Facebook. So
Yes.
from these channels you can know what's going within the market. Then the second step comes in that these 10 things are happening. What's one thing that interests me? It's whether it is, I say, let's say if you go to the supply chain, you will understand the hyperledger. So Because if you subscribe with the IBM, it will give you a lot of newsletters about the supply chain. So if the supply chain interests you, then go with the supply chain and subscribe with a different newsletter. It will give you the understanding of the market. Same with the financial words, you can go with a different one. So that's how you can make an understanding of the market and find out the best tech behind it.
All right. Thank you so much, Satyam. Saili, if you follow any other, I believe Satyam has given an exhaustive list of resources where you can look out for new news, new up and coming blockchain networks, and news about what is happening in the blockchain universe. So if there is any other resource that you usually follow, then just feel free to share it. Or yes, we can move on to the next question. So
Actually, what I do is I only follow Twitter and whatever source of information
That's the
is.
one thing.
That's also a great way to learn, especially for cryptocurrency investors. They just keep on following Twitter for anything new, any new blockchain network or something new happening with, for example, in Bitcoin, the halving process is happening. So there's a lot of buzz happening in the cryptocurrency investment sphere as well. So yeah, Twitter, a lot of cryptocurrency traders follow, but yes. Uh, I believe blockchain developers also follow those news. In Twitter, I believe there's not a lot of very technical news, but you can get relevant information about
What
up and coming blockchain network and the latest updates as to what is it that maybe the Matic network is offering right now that will actually create some dent in the market, or what is the Polymath network doing, keeping the users engaged. All right. So when coming to keeping the users engaged, one big problem that I have mentored some hackathons here in Mumbai. I have also judged some of them, and talking to students in these hackathons when they are building products. All right. So one big concern that they talk about is the user experience of any product that they are making, because at the end of the day, even if we are talking about any of the nascent technologies, what is more important is the user adaptability of any nascent technology. If it is if we are talking about machine learning or AI, we need to be able to shape it and manufacture it in a manner so that even a layman who doesn't understand what AI is, he's able to probably use take the advantages for maybe take the advantages of Alexa without even understanding how machine learning really works. So uh, how easy will the product be for a layman who doesn't understand blockchain? And if they maybe if they create a centralized login system where they are compromising on the concept of decentralization, but they cannot expect every user to know what wallets are or what gas fee is or what public private key pairs are. So what do you think are some steps that organizations like maybe Polymath or the Matic network or any other organization in the world, if you guys know about, are taking to bridge this gap between the understanding of a user who doesn't understand anything about blockchain? He does not even understand the concepts of gas fee or public private key pair. They only know that yes, there's a system wherein I have to log in using my username and password, because that is something that they have been doing since they knew how internet works. All right. So what are some of the steps that you think that organizations like Polymath or the Matic network are taking to improve on user adaptability? So Satyam, if you could.
Yeah. So first of all, the total disclaimer that Polymath is not going to use any kind of technology related to that, because Polymath is all about security tokens, and there is
All right.
always a big impact related to the securities, because if anything goes wrong, it will impact the whole company who owns the securities. So we
All right.
always focused about guiding the users to know how everything works by publishing different FAQs or different medium articles, that how
All right.
everything works. But
All right.
for the different applications like some gaming applications, some minor payment channels, they should have some kind of an user experience, which, as you said, which will allow them for anyone to come up over their platform and sign up and do the stuff. So like Taurus, Taurus is one of the service provider, or you can say wallet provider, which will allow anyone to just do a transaction without knowing about anything, gas fees or some kind of a stuff. So Torus will provide a good flexibility. If some of the companies wants to provide more flexible way, they can go with the meta transactions. By so it will give us the users flexibility to don't know about the cryptography behind the blockchain or the gas fees or the different stuff. Like the security perspective, they need to reserve funds for signing the transaction. They need to be careful where they are signing the transaction. So these kind of steps can be taken care from the different platforms according to their business. That's the main point. It depend on the business what they are offering. So similar to like buying cryptocurrency is one of the thing is one of because a lot of users are concerned about it, how they are going to buy it, from where they are going to buy it, what the steps they need to do. So because this is the very first step to interact with the different blocks, and they should have a fuel to interact with them. So different off-ramp aggregators are available, like Transact is one of them, and the MoonPay is one of them to allow someone to buy crypto from fiat within the different countries or the zones, you can say. So these kind of applications they can use. And if you go about like say user experience, so I go again with the Instadep. Instadep created a very cool wallet called Smart Wallet, which will allow any user to understand the concept behind the MCT and manage them easily. So I I again say it's depend on the business what they're offering. According to that, they can ease up the securities behind the blockchain or behind the application they are providing. And according to that, they can choose the path, whether it is will be a meta transaction or using a platform like a Taurus as a sign up platform or for the wallet, or paying for the crypto or paying from the fiat. You can say you can use wire as well within your application. So yeah, it depends on the functionality what they're providing. So there's a lot of application are available in the market. Different types of concepts are available in the market. They have to choose according to the requirement.
Siley, if you would want to join in, like chip in anything.
Yeah. So if we talk about Matic network, we are like trying to solve the user experience thing at the blockchain level. So
Or
yeah, uh, at the blockchain level, what I mean is lower the block time and lower the sorry increase the block time like faster block confirmation and lower the transaction fee. Now if at the application level, now suppose I want to pay at the coffee shop, then I should be able to scan a QR code and pay using the cryptocurrency.
yes,
Uh,
all right.
so, yeah, if I am playing a game, so if I am playing a game, suppose I am playing a chess, then it should not be like I made my one move and then I have to wait for 15 seconds to get the block confirm and then you made your move. It should be like
It's
you
8
play
o'clock.
one like quick fast. So if I go specifically, say example, we are playing a game, we are purchasing in-game assets like if we are in a metaverse and like purchasing some words in a gameplay. So if we look into the current user experience wise, so whenever you want to like made any purchase, you need to sign and approve the transaction either through the MetaMask or whatever wallet you are using. So if we are asking to improve the user experience, then it should be like I can give permission as a user that yes, I want to allow auto approving till 15 minutes or say 1 hour, whatever time I'm playing in a game.
All
So
right.
currently we are looking for a such kind of user experience so that we can make the blockchain in day-to-day life. We can use the blockchain in day-to-day life. If we look into the there is one product called Incento. So he's what he is doing, he is signing with Google, and you can transfer funds and payment settling is, I don't know exactly, but very user experience wise, it is very good product. Like very user don't have to know about what is the cryptocurrency, what is his address, and what is the gas fees he is paying. He just made his payment. So that is
All right.
we are looking for that kind of user experience so that we can use the cryptocurrencies in our day to day life. Yeah.
All right. So Satyam and Saili, just a quick notice. Our time is running. Actually, it's past 1 hour. So I'll just try to finish the session. So one last question that I have to ask before I move on to the audience questions is that be it Polymath or be it the Matic network, any blockchain network per se, there's a lot of applications that are being built. For example, like you just said that in order to improve user adaptability, there are a lot of products that can be built, like Incento. You gave an example of Incento. So any of the networks, be it Matic network or Polymath network, because we can talk only about Polymath and Matic right now. What other than learning Solidity, what other skills do you think are really helpful when students want to, let's say, get employed at organizations like Polymath or Matic? So Saili, if you could first answer the question. So let's talk about Matic network. So what are the required skills, and what kind of entry level jobs or maybe at an advanced level job that people can get with a certain set of skills in the Matic network?
Actually, we are hiring. If you look, we are hiring at any level. So JavaScript developer, user experience developer, UI developer, Solidity developer, Golang developer. Like so,
All
we
right.
are, and mostly if we look, then we are most focused on full stack. Like yes, people can take care of everything he is doing. As we are, of course, we are, so we are like more look into the full stack developers, and of course the they're eager to learn new things and explore on his own. That is the, yeah, nothing else.
All right. So with a new developer, let's say with a new hire, what do you really look at? His experience or his experience with building products on his own instead of working in corporations? If he has built a self-learned project, let's say. So do you prefer those kinds of students, or do you look at people only with, let's say, working experience of maybe Facebook or Google or something like that? Like,
Nothing like that. The college he is graduated from or the previous experience actually doesn't matter. What matters is what he know, how the basic fundamentals of CS he knows, because learning is, yeah, that, like learning blockchain specific stuff, yeah, that can be very easily adapted. So what we are expecting is he should be, he or she of course should be like thorough with his basic concept, then other can be taken care.
all right. So he should be thorough with his basic concepts and obviously knowing technology stacks, like maybe if you know a React framework, maybe for the front end, or maybe for back end, Node.js. So that is an added advantage. But knowing the fundamentals are really important, right? And coming on to you, Satyam, what do you think are required skills at Polymath Network?
So, for as a junior developer or some as a developer, is it specifically for the junior developer in the Polymath network? We are looking for more about they know JavaScript. They have to understand how the JavaScript works, or how the client server technologies work, to know, so they can code well and they can understand how the communications work between the different layers. Let's say if something is hosted on the server, then how the client is communicating with it. So these kind of information are really to be known as a junior developer. Or for the, you can say, for the full stack developers, you have to know about the different components that are available in the market for the UI perspective. Let's say React framework and the different other things for the UI side, or you can say as a full stack developer. TypeScript is one of them, and React another thing. So these kind of a things should be known for a full stack developer. But for the newcomers, I say as a junior developer, they can enroll and they should have understanding about at least with the JavaScript and the client server technology, at least for
All
the
right.
junior developer. But for the higher end, if you go, then the company is more preferring about the experienced guys who knows about the system programming and the security perspective and the infosec roles. And for the infosec roles, they also be experienced related to the security, because maintaining a blockchain is very hard thing to do. It
All
needs
right.
a lot of experience to maintain a network, because for a good network there should be a minimum downtime. For maintaining the minimum downtime, you have to do a certain things to maintain it, and for doing those certain things, you should possess that particular kind of a knowledge. So that's how we are hiring different types of developers, or the full stack guys.
All right. So I'll be moving on to the audience
I would
questions quickly. Yeah, Siley, you're saying something?
and I would like to add one more thing: the open source contribution, because that is the thing people like. We can go and see what you are working and
All
how
right.
you are good at doing thing. So
So
open source
finishing up on
contribution.
your GitHub portfolio, more or less, open source
Yeah,
contributions or open GitHub accounts, so that people are able to see what you have worked on in the past.
I
Right.
think that's the basic thing, or the starting point for any organization right now, especially in the blockchain space.
All right.
They need, because everyone wants to know what you are contributing uh, in the community, and
Hmm.
what you are doing on yourself, because it will give us the better understanding how you think about
Yes.
any application. So that's the first way to, you can say, enlist all those developers whom you can interview.
All right. Yeah. So for our viewers, just take a note that open source contributions and having your own self-learned, or maybe you learned it through boot camp or something like that. Learning something and being able to present it in your GitHub portfolio is really important when it comes to being placed in organizations like Polymath or Matic Network. So quickly coming on to the audience questions. So one of our viewers has asked, "Hello, sir. As blockchain and cryptos are threats to the current financing system. So what will happen if all the governments combinedly take step to ban crypto investments?" Now, in order to, I'll try to reshape the question. So I believe, for example, take an example of the Matic network. So I'm sure that Matic network would be having its own native currency, which is not Ethereum. It's
It's
pegged at it. Pardon,
it's
Siley?
matic. Yeah.
Yes. So Matic network has its own native currency. So what? So just a utopian concept. This is something that is very common with a lot of blockchain viewers. Their first question is the level of so what is their question is always it always revolves around the fact that what if the government in the future takes a step to ban crypto investment. So if they ban crypto investments, so people will not be able to buy Matic coins. So it's a totally utopian question, not a technical question. So do you think in the future, for example, if we talk about the judgment on 9th of March that Supreme Court gave, that as of now there is no ban on cryptocurrencies, it's been lifted. So do you think that is going to continue, and is there a threat to a career in blockchain if cryptocurrencies go? So
Uh,
yes, Satyam, if you
so
would like to answer.
yeah, from my thinking, it will not affect anything, because actually it depends on the government. If the because that will be a drastic condition if every government will ban the crypto. Because if we talk about, especially in India, India is more of a conservative nature. We don't
Yes.
we don't try to take a step ahead from any other country, because that's the truth. That's the truth I'm speaking. So if you talk about the US is also working with a lot of compliances rules to maintain the tokens. Uh, you can say legal. So SEC is doing a lot of stuff to maintaining some certain kind of a things. So I will not think of that will happen in every country. Even if it happened to every country, we will lose the economics behind the application. We will not lose the actual fundamental of the blockchain. But
All right.
economics plays a lot of a crucial part within the blockchain. But if something comes up, we may able to replace that coin term, or you can say economics, with something else when something drastic comes up. So the part about the technology, the part about the functionality, the part about the security it is providing is always be remain. The only threat is about the economics that manage the whole decentralized process may be threatened if every government imposes the ban on the crypto, because if you are not able to buy it, you are not able to contribute or take a participation within the blockchain network. So for that rule, it may affect, but maybe there's a possibility we can come up with a solution where we can replace that economics with something else. So
All right.
that's my understanding about it.
So, Saili, do you agree to what Satyam has to say, or do you have to add something to it?
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. So, what I understand to answer how to sum it up. To sum it up, what it basically means is, even if all the cryptocurrencies get banned in the world, cryptocurrencies, blockchain is not just about cryptocurrencies. Blockchain is a technology which is supposed to create a decentralized revolution. It is supposed to solve certain problems which the existing systems could not. So even if cryptocurrencies, even if there is a situation wherein all the cryptocurrencies get banned, blockchain is here to stay. It is a technology for the future, and it is here to stay. Even if the compliances don't allow for the economics, there will always be a workaround, because if we take a look at the Indian governments also, there's a lot of state governments who have been working on creating compliances with various blockchain networks. Even the NPCI, which is like a governing body for payments, they have started working on creating a prototype blockchain network of their own, so that the banks can create micropayment channels across each other. The Bheem UPI, it could be powered through blockchain, something like that. So even if cryptocurrencies are out of picture, blockchain is still here to stay. So one other question someone has asked, this is, I believe Satyam will answer this. What are things required to join the Polymath test network? I've applied for the same.
So we have posted a article, or you can say on the Twitter, that we are looking for the beta testers, so they can test our network very well in a well manner. So we are soon gonna release the date as well, and whoever applied for that particular testing the network, they can give a notification over the mail that we release certain application to test our Polymesh network, and they will be notified accordingly. Or the best way is to watch our Twitter channel for it. They can follow our Twitter, our Polymesh network, and each and every information uh, will be published over the Twitter as well. So they are able to understand each and everything. Even we are gonna release many of the articles to test the network as well, in a time flow manner.
All right. So yeah, one of the viewers has asked about GeoCoin, but since there's no official speaker from GeoCoin in today's session, I don't think it's right to comment on the status of GeoCoin. Coming to the other question, is it important to learn about blockchain architecture or just smart contract? I believe this is something that we have been discussing for the past 1 hour. It's the first thing, that was the first question that we started with. It's that you need to delve into something first. You need to jump into smart contracts or maybe JavaScript basics, being able to interface with something, and then once you are able to, you're understanding how things work at the interface level, then you delve into learning the blockchain architecture. This is something that we have already discussed. Some questions, I believe, what matters the most, transforming existing centralized systems to decentralized or making something entirely new? So, Saili, would you like to answer? This is a very, very vague question, but
Yeah, I would say mm transforming existing centralized system to a decentralized is not a good way, because of course if you go to like question someone and propose someone, of course, first thing you will face is resistance. So we have like a lot of developer and entrepreneurs, so start the product and come up with the decentralized application. For sometimes centralized, decentralized will work parallel, and then user can adopt whatever he user will do.
So there has to be a handhold system wherein there will be a transition from a legacy system to your new application, because at the end of the day, any new product that came in the market actually started with some breaking changes that were not compliant or compatible with the old systems. So yes, building a new system is really important. And Satyam, would you want to add something to it?
Yeah, sure. So it's all about the requirement, I must say, because if you think about to converting a social media into a decentralized media, what's the idea behind it? What you are trying to do by doing that conversion? In the if I comment on the Facebook, Facebook comes up in a different news about the privacy thing. So if you want to solve about the privacy thing, then maybe it will be good, but it will be drastically bad for some other things within the social media itself. So you
All
need to
right.
decide what what functionality or what the problem statement you want to resolve by using a decentralized application. It will not be good that you will convert every application in a decentralized application. You
Yes.
need to decide what the problem statement is.
All right, sure. I believe there are some questions at the top as well. Just one or two questions, and we'll end the session because we are like running out of time. So, cryptocurrency investment versus blockchain development, which is a better future? Anyone wants to answer?
So, in my sense, blockchain development is always be good because investment is always a speculative part. You may get something or maybe not, because if you understand the experience of the crypto investor from the last 2 or 3 years, they will give you a, a very good understanding, because I was one of the investors the 3 years back, and if if I continue my investment till now, I lose a lot of stuff, I lose a lot of money, but I'm still standing because of my blockchain development. So it depends how you want to see the future, whether you want to learn the technology. Yes, it's always be good to learn, but if you only want to earn money, then cryptocurrency can be a part, or the share market will be a way. So it depends on what's your end goal. It's a learning or changing the community, or the earning money only.
All right. One of our viewers, Anurag, has asked a question: exactly how diverse blockchain can get when it comes to industrial purposes, like at a scalable level, at an industrial level. How diverse can blockchain get, or at a use case level? Anyone wants to answer?
So uh, it can solve very real problems. So if you talk about the supply chain management, there are a lot of companies are dealing with. So what's the problem? So always when you talk about a business or when you talk about a solution, you always go into the uh, back of it. That is the problem statement. The problem statement related to the supply chain is about the credibility of the product, or what's the different stages it came from. So there's a one company called Everledger, which is working on the diamond-based supply chain. So they are solving a very good problem, you can say, where end user will know about the each and every, or you can say the life cycle of a diamond. So they can know that this is the real gem. They can buy it. So these kind of a diverse application, because uh, similarly, like offshore management, if you go about the offshore supply, you need to process lot of bills, and the payment will come in after 4 or 5 months. But by using the blockchain, you can actually settle down all the bills, or all the you can say amount within an hour or within a day. So these kind of an application are the real problem solver for the for those trivial problems that are existed within the market right now. So that's how it can be disrupt the current market, or a diverse application can be introduced.
All right. I believe we are really running out of time. So I believe that was the last question. So thank you so much, Satyam and Saili, once again for such an insightful panel discussion. You were a really, really great panel. I believe it was really helpful for our viewers as well. And thank you so much for joining with us today on our Sunday evening. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, and bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Have a great day.